Welcome to our Deeper Dive Live. We are here on Tuesday morning. Y'all here, live audience. Y'all here back. Yo, you can't see them, but I'm telling you right now, they back there getting busy. This is the livest live audience in all of Tampa Bay. Give it up, audience, one more time. Man, I tell you what, we are here for the Deeper Dive Live. This is about to be an awesome time in the Word with our pastors. We have today with us none other than the one and only originator of this thing called Revealing Truth Ministries. We got the Pastor Deborah Owen. As you see me here, what that needs to tell you is Pastor Lamar is nearby. But on the other side, hailing from the other side of the bay, we got Mr. St. Pete himself. We got campus pastor extraordinaire. We got hostess with the mostest, Pastor Lamar Mill with the Listen, I'm going to tell y'all something. We are coming off of an absolutely amazing weekend. Yeah. It has been our Vision Weekend. It started as Vision Nights. It upgraded to Vision Weekend. And I'm going to be honest with you, it's Vision ongoing. So here we are. We jumped in. We're excited. Are you all excited?
Yes.
Are you as excited as me?
It may not sound or look like it.
Right, but we are.
I'm with you all the way.
We are.
Listen, we are excited, even if the enthusiasm on the outside doesn't show the same. We're all excited.
We are excited.
The people in this room are excited the same way. We have really had a phenomenal weekend. Now, what was really cool, we decided we should come in the sanctuary. We decided it was a good place to come because, you know what? The festivities hailed from this position. Mm-hmm. And, you know, somebody took a picture some time ago, and it was me and my son standing up here, and it reminded me of a time when me and my father were standing up here. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's cool because this part of the platform wasn't here. Mm-hmm. This was where the podium was when it was on the floor.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Or where Pastor would walk back and forth, right? And so I think it's kind of cool that Pastor Brian reminded us of some 20 years ago, Vision Night being birth. Yeah. And here we are walking out Vision again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Isn't it awesome?
It is.
I think it is phenomenal. And so, you know, we want to take this this Tuesday and kind of just go over what took place on Friday night and really extract out of that as much as we possibly can. Just some pointers for our congregation to walk away with. So, are you ready? We're ready. Most of the time, the deeper dives come out. There are like points that are there, and you know we kind of know where we're going. There's this pre-conversation. Ain't none of that today. We raw. We running with it. We gonna all run in this together. So if you see them confused looking, that would be the reason why. Except we know they have the answers.
Amen.
We are not confused.
We're not
confused. Just so much happened, and people got an opportunity to hear again and be solidified in some things concerning the vision of Revealing Truth Ministries and the direction we're going in and the vehicles that we're going to use, which allows them to participate. Because you can have a vision, but if you don't have the vehicles for people to participate, they don't know where they connect and where they join in. So that was an opportunity for people to, again, hear it, but then also know how we're going to carry it out and how they have a part in doing it and getting excited about it. So that Friday night was pretty awesome.
You know, Pastor Deborah, you bring up the word, which was one of our sessions, in fact, was about the vision vehicles and the fact that those are a part of what changed. You know, the vision of Revealing Truth is solid. It ain't going nowhere. God spoke it perfect when he spoke it in the first place. But the way we walk it out, and I thought it was so cool. Well, excuse me, the way we want to finish my statement, the way we walk it out may change over time to meet the need of the people that we're looking to meet, you know, that God is bringing to our door. I mean, Pastor Paul used to say all the time, I don't get to choose who shows up. It's just my part to be a part of their lives and to impart into them and sow into them whatever I can. But Vision Vehicles was one of those things. And Pastor Lamar, you are a part of, or a vehicle. What you do in St. Pete is a vehicle. And with the relaunch of St. Pete, things changed. It wasn't the same. It wasn't what it was when you all were coming out of where you were. How has these Vision Vehicles impacted the St. Pete campus?
It being able to, I guess I'd like to use the word respond to Pastor Brian even representing vision to us in a way that we understand that God's promises doesn't change, even though the vehicle may look different, depending upon the people that you're ministering to. Put us in a position in St. Pete that we could represent what it was that God is wanting us to do in that area in a way that was fresh and compelling in that time. When we started at Johns Hopkins back in 2017, we started, and you know how it is, you're leading people, so you have to communicate things and make it as clear as you can so that they can see it and participate. Correct. And then after about 4 years now, we spent almost 2 years, I want to say. We spent almost 2 years not meeting face to face because of due to the pandemic. Coming back to a facility to meet again face to face. Well, I mean, we're not the same people we were back in 2017.
Right.
So people might even look a little different, right?
Yeah, we look. Yes, sir. We look different. We think different. We have, even though we haven't had face-to-face church in that way, we are still hearing the word and applying it and growing. So the presentation of what we're doing now had to match where we are and who we are now. And but it made it easy to communicate it a fresh way, because we know that God's promise hasn't changed, even though the vehicle or the way we talk about it, the way we go about it may look different.
That's pretty cool. You know what was also very evident, just watching you all on, when I say you all, the campus pastors on, was that Friday as well? That was Friday as well. Our campuses across the board look more connected than we've ever looked before. Now, on the back end, we know plenty of conversations take place. There's a lot of engagement. But to watch the three campuses operate in this space, I said, man, Pastor Brian even spoke towards just how awesome that was. And, you know, Pastor Deborah, I think about how, you know, 30 some years ago, it was like, hey, let's just start church. Now here we are, multi-campus, and many, many years later, and generations of people later, and you've watched vision be solid and the vehicles change. And we've introduced some new vehicles over this last Vision weekend.
Well, look, I like the word that Pastor Brian uses, disruptive.
Disruptive. Come on, Pastor.
Because to
Right.
be honest with you, that's a vein that's run through Revealing Truth Ministries
Yeah.
from the beginning.
Yeah.
We were never trying to copy someone. We were just being who we're supposed to be, and I'm not saying that we are a cut above or anything like that. It's just that we know our uniqueness in the body of Christ. It's the same as God saying that they're different parts,
Yes.
and everybody has their part. Well, we're not trying to be somebody else's part.
Not at all.
We're wanting to be exactly who God called us to be, because there's a group of people who will be attracted to what we do here at Revealing Truth Ministries. I always say that we do stuff off the cuff, and it's not because
Right.
we're trying to. It's just who we are. It's the creativity that's in us. It's us allowing God to give us directions, and then we figure, okay, so I know what you want me to do, but how do you want me to do it? How do you
Right.
want me to engage this? How do you want me, for instance, how do you want me to meet the needs of the children?
Right.
And of course, when we first started, the whole idea was the children's ministry was
Correct.
different. It
Correct.
was like, okay, we're going to set up this children's ministry to the point where kids are going to want to come to church. And that was an engagement that we started. And, we had all the balls, and nobody could understand why we bought all those balls. I didn't understand at first because we didn't have any place to put them. But we bought them and we kept them. We kept them clean till we had the space.
On that side of the building.
On that side of
The
yes,
empty
the
side of the
empty
building.
side of the building. And now, and that was disruptive in the fact that no one was actually doing that.
Correct.
And then along came Embracing Legacy and a band. Nobody was doing that.
Right.
And so it's not that we sit up and try to think of odd things to do. It's just who we allow God. We allow God to work in us, our own special creativity. So on Vision Night, we talked about the church is disruptive. It may not look like everybody else's, but you have a part, and you can fit in a part, find your place, so that you can be your unique self in that place.
It's pretty cool because Pastor Poe would say something. I love to watch the juxtaposition between Pastor Poe, my father, and Pastor Brian Poe, my brother, because they'll say similar things, obviously in different ways.
Mhm.
Pastor Poe would say something like, "I got one butt, I only need one seat." You have to come and fill the space that belongs to you. Pastor Brian's telling us, look, there's something on the inside of you. And the thing that's on the inside of you is what will drive us to do new and different things. Because if you're just looking for what Pastor Brian want or need, I got what I want or need. I have an assignment, but you have an assignment too. And every one of these seats is designed specifically with you in mind. Now, we didn't make the designation, God did.
Right.
And to me, that's what Vision Night helped us do, or this Vision Weekend helped us see. It was a common thread. You have a part to play. Why do we change the name of this thing? Because it better describes why we do what we do this way.
Right.
Why do we need you to do it? Because God didn't anoint me, call me, or tell me anything about it. But when you showed up, you were disruptive because it was everything God created you to be. And isn't it amazing that for years and years and years, we watched this disruptive nature just do some awesome things in the kingdom of God. I mean, both of you have traveled with Pastor Poe as he would go different places. And it was always awesome to see somebody do something that he didn't expect them to do. And he'd go, man, you got to tell me a little bit more about that. You got to tell me how you do that. You got to tell me. And then he'd come home and go, hey, guys, I think we need to add this. Because the only thing he was looking for was a place for people to act out and live out what God had put on the inside of them. And so through our Friday night, we went all around. And I love the fact that we get to go like pod to pod to pod. Like you go from one location to the next and just get to feed on what it is that is taking place in those places. One of the things that was awesome that Pastor Benjamin spoke about and really kept the pendulum swinging in the right direction said, this isn't a goal setting meeting. We're not talking about the things we hope to do, the things we're thinking about doing. We're talking about vision. And our vision doesn't shake. It doesn't change. And I know there have been some people who've wondered about the vision of Revealing Truth Ministries in recent years, not understanding and thank God Pastor Brian is who he is, we hadn't left one verse of who we are. As a matter of fact, we've expanded.
Yeah.
We've looked at every word and watched it balloon into more and more and more. And to me, that was Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
But then we had Saturday night. Saturday morning, I should
Saturday
say.
morning.
Saturday morning.
Yes.
Minister,
Colonel,
General,
Sergeant,
Pastor.
Yes.
We had Minister Ezel here. And oh my God. Oh my God. He came in like a wrecking ball. You talk about disruptive.
Yeah.
He look, it might be a little dent in the stage where he was standing. You know what I mean? He came in heavy, but he reestablished some things that are a foundational thread to Revealing Truth Ministries. And that is about our servanthood.
Right.
Now, Pastor Deborah, you have known Minister Ezel for a long time. Would you mind telling us a little bit about the history, not necessarily the history of life with him, but his history here at Revealing Truth Ministries? The fact that he used to be here every year.
Well, yeah, it was part of our, you want to call it maintenance?
Maintenance.
People probably didn't see it that way, but it was part of our maintenance because Revealing Truth Ministries is strong on servanthood, really strong on serving one another, and not just being selfish with whatever God has blessed you with, but being able to extend that and show that kindness to others, and being able to be a replication of who we say that we are. And so when Minister E, Sergeant E, Pastor E, because we watched him transition.
Right.
We watched him transition.
In one service.
True, in one service this time. But he would come in and just, I would say, sure everybody up, encourage those who have been feeling like, I just been kind of toiling, and getting them pointed towards the right direction again. He came in and he introduced people to what it means to be a Christian, because Christians do serve one another, because after all, Jesus said, I'm washing your feet, because he was a servant, and helping people to understand that was not a demeaning thing to serve in the church, because sometimes people are, kind of blasted about, you always at the church, you always doing this, you always doing that. But that was the thing that caused us to grow. That's the thing that caused what I call camaraderie among us. That's really what caused us to be family.
Right.
And so I would say probably up until probably 2017, and I think he may have come after that, we've not had him here. And so it was good for him to come and throw out some reminders, help people to be solidified in what they're doing. And for some people, it was new, and it was like, who is this? And on that Saturday, he's got us semi acting like soldiers. And I looked and I thought to myself, Pastor Ezel, you've got some 80-year-old people in here. You're telling them to go. But you know what? I looked around and they did it anyway, because he compels people to get in position. He compels people to do that. And that's been his heart for years. And he of course, talked to people about how God spoke to him about what his responsibilities were at World Changers Ministries at the time. And he continues that ministry. That's why he actually has a boot camp, and he invite people up to his ranch so that they can see, let's put it this way, they can see clearer now. They can see clearer now. And get rid of some of all of the fog and things that come our way when we are actually in the capacity of serving, especially in the gifts that we have. Because he talked about that. When you're serving, it should be the gift that you have. Because if you're in the wrong place, that's probably why you're tired. That's probably why you don't want to do it. That's probably why anybody can talk you out of it. And just so many wonderful nuggets about how, as leaders, how you present something determines how people come into it. If you're not excited about it, they're not going to be excited about it either. If you acting like it's a drudgery, well, more than likely they're not going to even join you. So as Christians, we never leave the position of servant.
That's right.
You never do. That's we here to serve one another. We're here to serve the body of Christ. We like it's just who we are. And you know what? We're at our best when we do that.
Yeah.
We're at our best. You may get physically tired a little bit, but you will. When people tell me they burn out, I'm like, okay, you must be doing this on your own.
Yeah.
In your own strength.
You're doing this in your own
way.
strength. You're not listening to what God said. Or, you know what? I'm just, especially if you're anointed to do it, but you all of a sudden want to do something different than what you're anointed to do.
Yeah.
Right.
Then you're doing it on your own, or you on automatic. You're on automatic, and he comes in to get people out of automatic.
Right.
Get you in the right gear.
Yeah.
And let's
get
press the throttle and let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
You know, Pastor Lamar, I don't know that there is a pastor in the world who, once we've found people or connected with people that are excited about something, that over time we had looked up and thought to ourselves, hey man, why'd you stop? Or why'd you change it? Or why is it no longer what it was? And to Pastor Deborah's point, usually we hear they need sabbaticals and they burn out and every other thing under the sun. But here we are coming out of, I love how Friday night flowed and connected so well with what Saturday morning meant.
Right.
How will this impact your ability to continue to lead the people in St. Pete?
Yeah, there were so many nuggets from Saturday, from the whole weekend. Okay, I have three that I think about, but one start with one that oh my gosh, okay, another one just hot that one.
Now listen, I know we're not looking at a clock.
I know,
but we do have one.
Pastor Ezel Sarge.
Yes, sir.
Talked about people who are constipated.
Oh Lord, let's go.
And,
let's go.
Yes.
Let's go.
What a picture of what happens when a believer isn't properly or hasn't yielded themselves to be a dispenser of all the good that they've received. I mean, that's a perfect picture of what it is. It's like you're just stopped up with some stuff, right?
Yes.
And so when I think about even my journey and development and progress, and what I really desire for other people is to get help. I just want to create some space, create the stage, and all of the the influence that I've been able to gain. I want to be able to give people room to release
right
what God has put on the inside of them. And I think we can do that forever. We can do that for a long time. Just give people space to do the thing that God has put on the inside of them. As I think about, we're leaders, right? So we're already, you hear some information like the information we've received this weekend, and we're thinking about next weekend. And, we're this year just focusing on systems and structure.
Yes.
I think that as a leader, that's our responsibility, to provide people systems and structure. And but through those systems and through the structure that's put in place, you're able to rightly or properly be developed and also release the things that God has put on the inside of you for the purpose of building our church, for the purpose of allowing people that we meet in the community to be used by God and see what God can do in their life. So I think it's a perfect system of just replication and duplication that all of us have room to participate in for a long time. And then, for me personally, one of the things that just the statement was something to the effect that you can't you can't bring someone to a place that you're not.
Come on.
Or you can't call someone to be who you haven't become.
Correct.
Right? That's wow. Those are, when I hear things like that, to me, those are lifetime. That's something we can work on that for a long time, becoming the person.
Absolutely.
to be able to influence and inspire other people to become the person that God has called them to be.
Yeah.
That's another way to just define what ministry is. Like, I'm becoming, but as I become, I'm ministering to other people. In the process, we're all becoming.
Yeah. We're all becoming
who He sees us, right?
Yeah.
And he says, as you were talking, I was thinking about the statement he made about you're telling people, giving people information, but they only become who you actually are.
Right.
Right.
Leaders reproduce themselves.
They reproduce themselves. It doesn't matter the information.
That's
they do
right.
they do what they see you do
Yeah.
versus the stuff that you're saying.
Yeah.
Which is very, very true, because a lot of information can be given, but people actually look. I think the saying is your action speaks louder than your words.
That's right.
So I'm going to mimic what you do, not necessarily what you say.
Yeah.
So
that was one of the main reasons Pastor Poe would tell us all the time. As leaders, you got to go not just to the level, but beyond the level, because the people that are following you very rarely come to where you are. They'll come below that. So you got to take it up a notch.
Go for it.
And even with that, he talked about, I like how he talked about the order of leadership as well, that there's always somebody that's above you. But when you have the wrong attitude, then if he used the example of the water glass, he talked about the fact that if you believe that you're on the same level with the person that's leading you, then they can't pour into you. They can't. It has to be like this in order for it to be poured into. It was so much stuff that was said during the weekend. I love the fact that he talked about we need to bring the fire.
That's right.
You need to bring the fire.
We're going to close with that one. So you go ahead and finish up telling us how Minister E hit us with the fire, because the fire was exciting.
The fire and the water, the comparison he gave with the fire and the water, but he was saying you bring the fire and then, you get with someone else and you just burn brighter. But the thing of it is you still going to be burning bright regardless. I'm still lit regardless of what you do. Right. We can come together and we can be, one and make a bigger fire.
Right.
But
say water, how did he say it? Water diminishes over its transfer.
Right.
But fire increases over its transfer or remains the same. It never goes down.
Exactly.
And I thought that was and is a great way to close out right here today. We ought to be a fire. Yes, igniting and lighting up everything around us this week.
Exactly.
We should take this excitement through. Now look, on Thursday, we're going to talk. We're going to talk a little bit about Sunday morning. We're going to talk about Monday evening, where there was a literal fire. I'm going to just tell you, there was an actual fire on Monday night. But if you missed it, that's all right. Be here for another thing that's going to take place. You'll be a fire for the rest of this week. I pray and thank you guys. Well, I thank you guys for joining us today. Audience, where we at? Okay, just wondering if the excitement was still the same. I want to say thank you all for joining us. We had an awesome time in this deeper dive today.
You missed that. That's not what Minister.
Oh, you want to give him one of those?
Hey.
LV! Woo-hoo! Come on now. First of all, never mind. We're going to leave it where it's at. I hope you online joined in this very powerful moment. We love you. We thank you. This has been another Deeper Dive Live, and we are out.